to be totally anti-democratic, and it's a bit of hypocrisy because they talk about supporting the press, but the evidence of their action is to be seen.
Ken, you've been in this constituency since 1997. Will this be your last election?
As I said upstairs, I feel like I could do 7 more. Look, I don't think Jamaicans fully appreciate, right? When I came here in 1997, this seat was won by the PNP with a margin of 4,000 votes. I couldn't come up the street to here in peace. I have built a bond with the people here. They consider me part of their family, and I consider myself part of their family, and I consider them to be my family. That's the level of relationship that we have, whether it's JLP or PNP. And I was just reflecting inside the nomination room just how things have changed. We can walk anywhere and there is no aggression, there's no confrontation. And that is largely because of how I've conducted myself here, how I've embraced everyone and given access to everyone. And it speaks volumes to the level of democracy, the maturity of the democracy here. And so I will continue to serve as long as the people want me to.
You didn't see the candidate for the Seabright Gardens division. Is the by-election off the table?
Well, obviously it's off the table now. We have nominated and we did not nominate. Not that we didn't field one. There was no nomination or elections. Just to be clear, the law gives the authority to call a by-election when there is a vacancy. To the mayor. The mayor was not so minded. So we could not call a by-election for the city like that.
Well, folks, the payment's an appointment. He's late for one more question.
Prime Minister, you were recently blocked from entering the community of Waterford by some KP supporters. What do you think that says about where this election is headed and the politics?
Just to be clear, nobody can block the Prime Minister from entering anywhere. I took a decision not to entertain or even cause to happen a confrontation. In other words, as Prime Minister, I have to be responsible. And so I deviated from my route to avoid a confrontation. It was clear to me that the candidate wanted to somehow entrap me in a kind of altercation, confrontation that would not be to my benefit, to the safety of the people who were campaigning with me, or to the general atmosphere of the election. I have given strict instructions to my candidates that they must not, under any circumstances, engage the PNP in anything that could amount to confrontation. It is always good, to see PNP supporters and JLP supporters embracing and dancing, which I've been involved in a few of those. When my sense is there is no animosity or there is no intention for a confrontation, then that's fine. But I got a serious perspective that the candidate in question wanted a confrontation that would not redound to the benefit of the election campaign. And so the thing to do would have been to divert and not to.
Okay, we have a quick question here.
Okay. Well, PM, going back to that whole thing that you made mention of your 23 constituencies, I heard you made mention of it in St. Thomas yesterday. You spoke about a water project that will be done in 5 years if it is that your government
not
is
done.
related.
So what our polls have shown is that the top 5 things universally, meaning across all the 23 constituencies that we have done, road and water, number 1 or number 2, depending on the constituency. A close third that keeps coming up is garbage collection. Then 4 is joblessness, which is still, for me, a puzzle since unemployment rates are low, but it is particularly amongst youth. So it's not joblessness in the sense that people don't have jobs, more opportunities. And persons are also very much concerned about housing, the quality of their housing and their housing stock. And so these are the things that the government will concentrate on. Not that we are not concentrating on them now, but we will put even greater emphasis on them in the next term.
Yeah, but specifically about the water
Right.
project, I wanted to find out how is it that your administration will make sure that in tandem with
Right.
SPART that we don't dig up back the roads to lay these water pipes.
So good question. So you would have noted, and I'm talking about things now that will come in the manifesto. I'm going to be very careful when I answer. I don't want to give away the manifesto. But we have already said that we're going to create a single road authority. The single road authority is to ensure that if anything is to be done to the road, we will define the road as a utility corridor, that it must be coordinated. If you recall, the SPARK program started at $40 billion. We added $5 billion to the SPARK program for water. So currently, the SPARK program is already both a road and a water program. So once we say we're going to do a SPARK road, we do the assessment for water and we put in the lines at the same time. So you won't see us digging up the road to put in the pipes because we have put the funds up front and it is being coordinated. So the idea of the single road authority is to create this management of the utility corridor, because it's not just the asphalt that creates the road. It is the water, it's the sewer line, it is the fiber optic cables, and it is the other sensors that are placed along the road corridor, including sidewalks, access for disabled, and parking for taxi stands and buses. So it is, how do we control the utility corridor to ensure that all the infrastructure development is coordinated? That's the real, that's what's going to be new about what we will do.
So when are we
No, the
getting-
manifesto is set, it's finished, we're just
When we're getting 8 p.m.
soon.
This
PM,
is-
the
this
debate
is-
is on Saturday though.
Thank
Both
you.
parties are committed to winning. What if on the day your party comes out on the losing end?
Look, when you go into any campaign, you prepare to win, you prepare to lose. Right now, we have worked very hard. There's no question about that. The PNP cannot contest us on performance. So if you go by the logic that Jamaicans are logical people, reasonable people, and they will vote on performance, then you know what the outcome is. But elections are also emotions. It's how people feel and what people expect to come. And even based upon expectations, you can't pull your expectations out of the air and out of promises. You have to also base your expectations on what the government has done, what they have achieved. And again, if you go by logic, and even if you pair that with your emotions, you must conclude that this government, the Jamaica Labour Party government, led by myself, supported by all the members and the ministers, have done very well.